Hello friends, this is Jim with Science Talk, and in this video I want to discuss with you ocean waves. Ocean waves are packing bigger and stronger punch. Ocean waves are now hitting harder than ever. As the world warms, they gain in energy, impact, and height. So, warming the planet, warming the ocean, it allows the oceans to start packing more power. So Spanish scientists monitoring the tropical Atlantic report that the waves today contain more energy than they did 70 years ago. Sea surface temperatures influence wind patterns, and you end up with a wave that has more impact. What does this mean for marine organisms, mariners, meteorologists, mayors of seaside cities? Not yet certain. But it does mean that wave energy could join carbon dioxide atmospheric ratios, global sea level rise, and global air temperatures as yet one more metric of overall global warming and climate change. Chinese scientists have been calculating the heat absorbed by the oceans over the last 30 years, and they have confirmed that in 2018, ocean temperatures reached record levels. Again, go back to what I've discussed with you guys before about specific heat. Think of how much energy the oceans have absorbed. Before that, 2017 was the hottest oceanic year ever, followed by 2015, 2016, 2014. Are we seeing a pattern here? Basically, the last 5 years have been the hottest oceanic years. Same thing for the atmosphere. And of course, sea levels will rise with ocean temperatures and ice melt. So it's not just melting Greenland and Antarctica that's raising sea level, but it's also the thermal expansion of the water itself from being heated up. Researchers from the University of Cantabria in Santander, Spain, report in the journal Nature Communications that waves have been growing in height in recent decades, and satellite studies confirmed a change of about 1% every 4 years from 1985 to 2008. Their research did focus on changes in wave energy, which is important because of the effect wave behavior has on estuaries, shoals, beaches, dunes, headlands, harbors, sea defenses, They examined data from 1948 to 2017 to trace a small but measurable increase in wave energy over the decades and with the decades. So Borja Reguero of Cantabria's Environmental Hydraulics Institute, who's also associated with the University of California, Santa Cruz, states, for the first time we have identified a global signal of the effect of global warming in wave climate. Interesting, puts it that way. In fact, wave power has increased globally by 0.4% per year since 1948, and this increase is correlated with the increasing sea surface temperatures both globally and by ocean regions. Now, it's important to point out, he said correlated. There's a difference between correlation and cause and effect. Right? Have not quite demonstrated cause and effect. They're simply stating, okay, we are noticing this wave power 0.4%, but we haven't, what they're basically saying is we have not directly statistically linked it to, yes, increasing temperatures. So it's important to point that out. I'm sure that they are probably looking at the question to demonstrate cause and effect, but like anything else, and this is a problem that comes into when you look at historic data, when you're doing time series analysis, that you're almost looking at it after the fact kind of a deal. So a lot of times you are showing correlation, you're not necessarily showing cause and effect. It's important to keep that in mind. That does not say that this study is invalid. It's they're showing important findings here. And we are seeing that. We do have examples of increased wave battering of shorelines. For example, off Alaska, without the sea ice protecting the shoreline, you get wave action, and if there is a storm that kicks up because there's no sea ice to cover the water, you get, well, now we just gotten the shit kicked out of the shorelines, where to the point where whole chunk loads of real estate fall into the ocean, and in some cases, whole villages have had to be relocated. So we're seeing this worldwide. You know, it said the effect on estuaries. If you have increased wave action in estuaries, that's going to disturb the bottom, which could upset the organisms that are not expecting to be tossed around in wave action, or not tossed around as more so than they're used to being tossed around in. So we are seeing an increase in the wave power. Now, it would be interesting to see if it is possible to take that wave energy, harness it, and take the energy that's available in that, and perhaps you can start running turbines and then provide electricity. Just a thought. Right? So, I want to briefly bring to you a second report that appears in the journal Advances in Atmospheric Sciences. Chinese and U.S. researchers recently calculated the heat absorbed by the ocean as ever higher ratios of greenhouse gases added to the planet's atmosphere. So this team examined the data from 2017 and 2018 alone, and the oceans must have absorbed an extra quantity of heat equivalent to 388 times the total electricity generation in China. In other words, if you can going back to the point I just made, if you can harness that energy, you can supply electricity for many, many years to come and meet the ever-growing increased demand as the population also increases. If you wanted to put it in a more somber aspect, this is around 100 million times the heat released by the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. So Li Jingcheng of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, who's the lead author of this report, states the new data, together with a rich body of literature, serves as an additional warning to both the government and general public that we are experiencing inevitable global warming. The ocean and global warming have already taken place and caused serious damage and losses to both the economy and society, he concludes. Let me repeat some of the findings earlier. This team confirmed 2018 ocean temperatures reached record levels. 2017, before that, was the hottest oceanic year ever, followed by 2015, 2016, 2014. The last 5 years, hottest oceanic temperatures. 1 point doesn't make a trend. 2 points, you have a nice line. 5 points, yeah, we have a trend here. So I wanted to bring you those two reports. Again, further examples of the changes induced by human activity. And these should be alarming to folks. Thank you for your time. Hey folks, this is Jim here reminding you to subscribe to this channel, to share my videos, tell others of the work that I do here. I also ask that if you are not already a patron at Patreon, to please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. You can find the information in the description box below the video. I'm asking you to help support the work that I do. I do not take any money from corporations or from any other sources. So the information I share with you is the actual science as it comes out of the peer-reviewed journals. So there is no BS, there's no propaganda, there's no agenda. It's just I present the science and I explain to you what it means, or at least my interpretations of it, based on my own experience as a scientist. I want this channel to grow. I consider, while I discuss many different topics here, you notice I do focus a lot on climate issues. I consider climate change to be the most pressing issue facing humanity today. Thus, I consider it important to disseminate this information to a wider and wider, more and more people. And I need your help to do this. So, yes, please subscribe. Please tell others of the work that I do here. Please share my videos on social media platforms, with your social media groups, what have you. We need to get this information out there. So for those of you who are supporting me on Patreon, I thank you greatly for your support and continued support. It does mean a lot to me. So together we can get this information to more and more people. Thank you. Thank you for your support.